candidate, first of all, introduce yourself to the board.
Sir, I am Agent 001 and I strive to serve in the security domain of my country.
You can serve in other organizations also. You have the army, you have the police, as well as other paramilitary forces. So that brings me to the question, why do you want to join only Intelligence Bureau?
Sir, I have been trying to join other security agencies as well. I have been applying for other exams as well. It is that Intelligence Bureau has opened this opportunity for me, and it is also a great opportunity to serve in the security region. So I have applied for this.
Tell me something about the Intelligence Bureau.
So the Intelligence Bureau was formed in 1889 by the Colonel MacGregor, who was the then Quartermaster General of the British Army. And it was particularly formed to keep an eye on the Soviet invasion, which could have been possible from the northwestern region of Afghanistan. And post that, after independence, it has evolved into a very dynamic organization which looks after the intelligence regarding India's internal security as well as the border region.
Mm-hmm.
Its logo entails an octagon, which engulfs within itself a square, which is black and white, and within that is our Ashok Chakra. And its motto is Jagratam Aharnisham, which stands for always alert.
What do you mean by Jagratam Aharnisham?
Sir, it means always alert, which is the motto of the Intelligence Bureau.
What is the mandate of the Intelligence Bureau?
So the Intelligence Bureau's mandate is to look after intelligence regarding India's internal security as well as in the border region. It provides inputs to various security agencies as well as civil administration regarding the issues which might hamper or cause and concern for the security agencies as well as the state administration.
Okay. How does Intelligence Bureau differentiate itself from the India's external intelligence agency, and name the India's external agency as well?
Sir, the Intelligence Bureau differs from India's external intelligence agency, that is the research and analysis wing, in the following ways. First of all, the Intelligence Bureau is particularly concerned with the intelligence which is related to India's internal security as well as its border regions, whereas the research and analysis wing is particularly concerned with India's intelligence regarding foreign countries and how it looks after its interest in the international arena.
When was RNW formed?
So the research and analysis wing was formed in 1968.
Sorry?
Sir, 1968.
So we got independent in, I guess, 1947, if I'm not wrong.
Sir.
Right?
Yes, sir.
So why did it took so long to have a dedicated intelligence agency for taking care of external counterintelligence operations? Why did it took around 21 years for that to happen?
So before 1968, the mandate of external intelligence also fall within the mandate of Intelligence Bureau. But post the 1962 Indo-China War, we felt that there was a necessity to have a dedicated agency which was looking after the external intelligence as well. So in 1968, the plan came to fruition and the research and analysis wing was formed.
Who was the first director of RNW?
So the first director of research and analysis wing was Mr. R.N. Rao, this is Rameshwar Rao.
Okay. Okay, tell me what you understand by the word intelligence.
So the word intelligence basically means that we have a lot of information around the world, and we as human beings are endowed with this ability to put all this information in context and utilize it for our own benefit. So this method of thinking and utilizing this information is called intelligence.
So what do you mean by the word intelligence when we talk in terms of intelligence agencies? how do you differentiate it when we talk about intelligence in normal parlance and when we talk about in the spy universe?
Sir, the intelligence in normal parlance means anything, any information which can be utilized to make use of. And the intelligence, when we talk about the security agencies, it is particularly which can be made use of in operations related to security agencies, or which could be detrimental to India's peace and stability in the hinterland as well as in the border areas.
Okay. What do you understand by pagers?
Sir, the pages are analog devices which are used to communicate messages through analog signals, and they are precursors to the modern smartphones, and they are recently in news because of the explosions that took place in Lebanon, which were allegedly carried out by Israel's intelligence agency.
What do you know about the term Levant?
Sorry, sir.
Do you know anything about the term Levant?
Sir, if I'm not wrong, Levant refers to the region which is surrounding the area of Syria.
Only Syria?
Sorry, sir, I'm not aware a lot about this.
Okay. You talked about Hezbollah and Lebanon
Yes,
attacks,
sir.
right? Explain to me the ongoing security situation in the Middle East. That is what we call the Levant, the area surrounding that Mediterranean Sea. Explain to me what is the reason behind the lot of increased frequency of these attacks in the near past, and how do you see the international community needs to pitch in?
So the current situation in the Middle East, that is the West Asia, is particularly related to the 7th October of 2023, when the militant group Hamas launched a full-fledged attack on Israel's border region in the form of Operation Al-Aqsa Flood, where a number of Israeli civilians as well as some foreign tourists were taken hostage, and a lot of them were killed in that. Post that, the region has engulfed in a crisis, which has seen players like the Hamas, the Hezbollah, and the Houthis lead a full-fledged war against Israel, and Israel has also started giving a rebuttal to that, and it has led to a lot of led to a loss of lot of lives in the Gaza enclave, where more than 40,000 people have lost their lives, and the crisis has now reached the southern borders of Lebanon, where around 800 people have died, and now the entire Middle East is captured in this crisis, and the world, including the United Nations, is pitching for an immediate ceasefire so that civilian casualties can be reduced to a maximum level.
Okay. So tell me a little bit about the formation of Israel and the Balfour Declaration.
So the Balfour Declaration was passed in 1917 by the United Kingdom, that is Britain at that time, and it mandated that there should be a Jewish state in the region of Palestine over there, which would allow the Jewish people to stay over there in their paternal land, which they traced back to their ancestors. And post that, there have been demands. The demands increased post the Second World War, because the Jews were persecuted in the Nazi Germany. And post that, the Zionist regime was put in place in the Palestinian region, and since then the state of Israel came into being.
Who was the founder of Israel?
Sir, I am not aware.
Who is the first premier of Israel? If I will to rephrase my question.
Sir, I am not able to recall at that
time. Coming to the Indian shores, tell me, how will the regime change in Bangladesh impact India's security paradigm?
So the regime change in Bangladesh has already been impacting us in a different way. First, the minorities in Bangladesh are seeking refuge in India, as we have seen that recently border security force of India was caught in a situation where a lot of refugees were at the borders of India and they were trying to cross across. However, the border security force was able to calm them down and return them back to the uh, Bangladesh. Secondly, the cross-border infiltration has also been a problem in the past as well. And if the persecution of minorities is not stopped, the infiltration would increase a lot. Additionally, the chicken's neck of India is a vital choke point for India's northeast. And if anti-social elements take over that region, it is going to be difficult for us to handle that security situation.
You talked about
That's
chicken's neck, right?
yes, sir.
How many chicken's neck are there in India?
Sir, I think only one is there.
Can you think a little bit more?
Sir, I'm not aware.
Okay, you go back and check it later.
Sure,
Now
sir.
tell me about the situation in Jammu and Kashmir. We have recently seen, resurgence of militant attacks, particularly in the Jammu belt. How do you see the change strategy of militants and post 370 when the Indian government uh, amped up its security setup in Kashmir, and also, the number of incidents as per the MHA data have come down. So what do you see are the reasons behind this shift of the specter of terror from the Kashmir division to Jammu division, particularly in the hills of Pir Panjal and in the districts of Riyasi, Doda, Kathua, Hiranagar, all these places?
So since the abrogation of Article 370, the Kashmir Valley has remained mostly peaceful, and the deployment of security agencies have maintained the security over there very well. So the militants were not able to put forth their attacks in Kashmir Valley, so they changed their stance and tried to enter the Jammu region. And since the Jammu border is manned by BSF and it is a very difficult terrain to keep track of, the militants were able to come across. And since the most of the security was focused on the Kashmir Valley, the Jammu region became the new hotbed of terrorism. Uh, Additionally, the sleeper cells in the Kashmir Valley are not being able to research in the current security situation, as the security is very tightened over there. So they are trying to keep up their morale by attacking in the Jammu region.
How should we respond?
Sir, one thing would be that we can increase the patrolling on the border so that the infiltration could be stopped to a great extent, though the terrain is very difficult to keep track of. Another aspect would be that the some of the troops could be diverted to the Jammu region as well, as the Kashmir Valley has remained peaceful for the most of the time, and it is the civil society is also accepting the new regime over there. So as they see the development, the cases of militancy over there are also going to decrease. So we should reshift our focus towards Jammu region as well.
Okay. We have seen in recent past there have been a lot of hacking attempts. Recently, we have seen one of the popular YouTubers, his YouTube account was supposedly hacked. So, how do you see these kind of malicious activities as being a threat to the security of the country, particularly with respect to India's strategic interests?
Sir, as we live in a technological age, we cannot shy away from technology. Everything, be it the military, the financial technology which we use like UPI and other aspects, everything is connected to technology. So, hacking attack cannot be sidelined. So, there is always a chance of attack on these assets of the nation. But what we can do is we can strengthen our cyber security by investing more in the research department and strengthening the institutions like CERT in, and additionally we can make people more aware about how they have to maneuver the internet and the harmful impacts that can be taken if they do not maintain their privacy over there.
Can you name a few cybersecurity architecture systems in India or cybersecurity protocols in India or globally?
Sir, one that is in India is the CERT, which is the Indian Computer Emergency Response Team, which looks after the critical assets of India in cyberspace. Uh, Additionally, we have seen that several countries have created dedicated cyberspace force for themselves, like we have seen in the case of United States as well as in France. So the Indian armed forces are also mulling on a dedicated cyberspace force for India, and we should focus in that direction.
Right. Tell me three things about Deogar that the normal people will not know.
Sir, most of the people will know that Devghar is one of the 12 Jyotirlingas of Lord Shiva. But what they do not know is that it is also the place of finance for Maharshi Valmiki's abode. And there is a Tapovan over there where Maharshi Valmiki did his finance for almost 100 years. And it is a very revered place over
Mm-hmm. I asked three things.
there. So the second thing would be that there is also a Punasi Dam over there, which is now a very good tourist place over there, and people. It is also sufficing the water needs of the people, and the government is also working to create an ecological park around it so that it can create more tourism avenues. Third would be the Trikut Parvat over there, which is a great opportunity if you want to explore Devgar from great heights, and it provides a panoramic view of the city.
Okay. Why is there, I can see from your profile that there is a considerable decline in your percentages from your matriculation to your graduation. What do you attribute it to? Were you not serious enough?
Sir, I was not serious in the first semester itself, as I had shifted to a different stream, and I was also more into exploring the new place which I had shifted to. So initially, I was not very attentive to the studies. I was more focused on exploring the city itself. But eventually, I got back on track and improved upon my grades in the next semester.
But don't you think this kind of lapses might prove very costly if you are selected as an intelligence officer, because there are no scopes of retreat or coming back. It's a very hairline errors, very marginal errors that can jeopardize the security interests of the country. So what do you have to say to that?
Definitely, sir. But what I perceive that I have learned from those mistakes and I have improved in the subsequent semesters. And I realized that one should always be ready to balance both academics as well as his interest of exploring places. So I have learned from my mistakes and I would not be repeating this in the future.
Should we take it as a guarantee?
Yes, sir.
Okay. What all languages have you learned?
Sir, I have learned German up to a B1 certification, and I am currently learning Mandarin, the basics.
Okay. So you would love to be posted in China?
No, sir. Actually, when I was learning German, I wanted to move towards a more difficult language. And when I looked which was the most difficult one, I found Chinese is the most difficult to master. So I shifted towards Chinese.
Tell me something about calisthenics.
So calisthenics basically made up of two words, callus and thenics. Callus means beauty and thenics means body. So when you improve the beauty of your uh, physique by the means of your body weight, it is called calisthenics. It includes different push-ups, different variations of push-ups, pull-ups, planches, uh, other exercises like planks, human flag, and sit-ups, crunches, etc.
Okay. How do you differentiate it from normal athletic exercises that we do? What is the USP of this?
Sir, usually we see that the normal exercises that people prefer to, they include different forms of running uh, and weight training. But calisthenics is something that you can do in a closed space as well. You do not need any specific equipment for that because your body is the equipment in this case. So it provides you a lot of flexibility where you want to do it, when you want to do it, and how you want to do it.
Who is the Lieutenant Governor of Jammu and Kashmir?
So I'm not able to recall at the time.
Then tell me the Lieutenant Governor of Jharkhand. Governor of Jharkhand.
The current governor of Jharkhand is Mr. Santosh Gangwar.
Come again?
Sir, Santosh Gangwar.
Okay. He originally belongs from which place?
Sir, I'm not aware.
Okay. What is your biggest strength?
So my biggest strength, I would say that I have good analytical skills, and also I am disciplined.
What else? How do you
Sir, in addition to
how do
the
you think? Go ahead.
Sir, in addition to these, I believe that I have a good physical stamina and a good mental fortitude, which helps me to stay adaptive to different circumstances or different changes that I endure. And I have also a good ability to make friends easily. So I am having a very good circle of friends who are supportive and helpful to me.
So you have everything that IB needs, right?
Hopefully, sir.
And why should we select you of all the candidates that are vying for this job? What do you bring, that X factor? What do you bring to the table that others don't? If there is one seat, why should
Sir,
we select you only?
so one thing is that I have a particular interest in geopolitics, which would provide me an edge in understanding what all situations India's internal security is being impacted by. Another
But for
aspect is
geopolitics,
that
you should rather, if you have an interest in geopolitics, you should rather go join some foreign university or maybe JNU, do some research in that, or maybe foreign services. Why intelligence?
sir, the Intelligence Bureau is one of those agencies which would be providing me exposure regarding the India's internal security, which I am vying to serve in. Additionally, my geopolitics skills are going to be helpful if I have to gather intelligence in border areas such as the Bangladesh border or the Myanmar border, and also the idea that the world is not isolated today. Every event in the world is going to impact every other part of the world in some way or the other. No event can be seen in isolation. So these things could be helpful when I am going to gather intelligence in the institution.
Okay. Thank you, candidate. It was good talking to you. All the best.
Thank you, sir.
What is your own assessment of your interview? First of all, let's hear it from you.
Where I think I lacked a little bit of fluency, and some topics I could not touch upon.
Like,
Like, sir, I didn't know about who the current Lieutenant Governor of Jammu and Kashmir is. Then I also didn't know where the governor of my state belongs from, uh, and I didn't know who the first premier of Israel was.
Ben Gurion.
Sir, I thought that I should take a guess.
No, don't take guesses in the interview. Take permission.
Sure, sir.
Avoid guesses. Okay. See, the thing is, first of all, I should congratulate you on overall, good. It was a good interview. Overall
Thank you, sir.
exposition and body language and your expression is okay. It's good. But we need to make a few changes because we need to improve, right? So we are all a work in progress and we need to go one step at a time. So first of all, I would say is whenever you're not sure, uh, if you want to take a chance, ask permission from the board. Ask permission, said, sir, can I take an informed guess, or should I take an informed guess, and then answer. Also, after every question, when the interviewer asks you a question, just pause for 10 minutes, 10 seconds, 5 to 10 seconds pause, slight pause, not even long pause, 5 seconds, 6-second pause, so that you come across as a thinking person. Generally, we should not jump to answering the question as soon as the question is asked. Also, when you don't know the answer, saying no is not a bad idea. It is always good to say no. It shows your humility also, and you own yourself that I don't know the answer. That's okay. Even the idea is this is not a test of your knowledge. This is a test of your aptitude, your personality. So whether you're confident in your own skin, just remember that it is not an interview in the sense of the word that it's a knowledge test. No, it is a personality test, and your personality will be thoroughly scrutinized for slight flaws here and there, right? And that is where you have to project your best version, and that comes when you are confident, when you are when you own yourself. That's my idea basically. When you think that if you own your bad, good, whatever you are, then only you'll be able to say no also. If you are not confident enough in your own thing, for example, if you don't know the answer but you feel insecure in a way, you'll try to answer that, and that will lead to some bluffing. Interview may never bluff in the interview, right? Secondly, you can read a little bit more about Jammu and Kashmir, this security situation here. The answers can be refined. They were decent, but they can be refined. Also, one more thing that I would like you to take note of, as that be a little elaborative. Your tryst, that is good, but can increase it a little bit. You can strike a balance. Don't be too long, but you're answering right, but make it a little longer, because the interviewer feels that you abruptly stop, and then it feels like something more is coming, right? That kind of thing. So try to expand your answer a little bit more, so that, but don't go too far, because that you have to allow the interviewing panel to ask as many questions to explore different facets of your personality, right? And we can try to go a little in depth in answering the questions, rather than what is superficially laymanish answering we can avoid in certain questions. We are expected to answer more detailed answers, right? More detailed in the sense that even if you speak a couple of lines, those lines should have a lot of information, plus it shows your understanding of an issue, right? Be precise, but bring more clarity into the topics, right? And also about your own state. I did not ask in this interview about Naxal issue, right? Left-wing extremism, and how to counter that. The TCOC operations that they've launched, about the Naxalbari, how it emerged, what is the current situation, Abuj Mard area, that core of the core area of the Naxal belt, how many districts were infested, what is the MHA data, how much more effort, what are the steps that are being taken, and how can we go ahead in that VAM approach, winning hearts and minds, a lot of these things, right? So I did not touch upon that in this interview. In the next interview, we'll definitely do that. So overall, I think it was a good interview. You are good to go, but we need refinements so that at least we get 10 on 10 in the final interview. So when is your interview?
Sir, it is on 24th.
24th. So today is 1st of October. We have a good 3 weeks, right? So definitely there is a lot to be improved and lot to be refined, and we'll definitely do that. And you're on the right track, and I wish you all the luck. Thank you.
Thank you. Thank you.
Okay, all the best.